I didn't mean to go public. Where? Oh, look, my statistics are really good. No frame rates dropping at all. Well, guys, if you're tuning in for the third time, I have a little configuration issue. But it looks like I've fixed my problem. I don't know if this microphone is the correct one. I need to turn this off. Boom, it's gone. That mic doesn't sound right. I don't know why. Okay, we're still figuring out stuff. That light's not right. Sorry about that. Pattern recognition. What's happening? I've gone live 3 times today. This morning. It was on camera 1. Check, check, check. Ooh, there's an echo. Is that an echo? I don't know. Okay. All right. Looks like I am on. So, hello, YouTube. I appreciate everybody bearing with me while I fix my bit rate, and it looks like it did. So I was pushing way too much for my processor to utilize. But we're getting close. Yeah, we're definitely getting close. Yeah, we're so over the target. It's ridiculous. You know what's funny? You say that, and you're the only person on right now, so I'm going to address you right now. Um, I've got some really high end computers. I'm not bragging. I like to build computers because it kind of helps me relax, and I'm a nerd, right? Uh, my computers will run all day, all night, no problem. Okay, I've got 300 and some odd inches worth of monitors. I've got 4 65-inch monitors, and there's some other ones. Anyway, Baron Coleman will come on, and my system will go, nope, not today. Every single time he's on, my browser crashes. And I find it just completely crazy. Now I've got another computer that's sitting next to it. It's just as powerful, and I want to start using that a little bit more. One's Windows 10 and one's Windows 11, and I don't like either one of them. I can't stand Windows, and I've got a new. I have another machine over there that is running Linux, so I might be switching over to that. Who knows? But best news I heard today was that the bullet did not match the rifle, which was phenomenal. So I'm going to do a show just for you, but I'm going to go through this and see how it works out. I had come up a couple of times, and there's some people that were helping me. Hopefully, my volume sounds good, and I'm trying to make sure that everything is dialed in. I feel like Coach, but I better not do that. He might charge me $3 and change. Couldn't watch him earlier. Getting up to yeah. The funny thing about with Baron is I love to watch him, but I stay up very late, and I'm getting up early now because I've got some construction going on at the house. Not my choice. My dear wife decided to have our ensuite. I hate that expression. Our bathroom redone. So she actually is. Anyway, she kind of runs a marble and granite place. And long story short, so for about a week now, we haven't had access to that restroom, and there's we have another restroom on the same floor, right next to my office or right next to my studio. So she's been utilizing that. But I have to get up because our dogs don't like the workers, and that means that normally when I would be sleeping, I am now awake, and that's not fun. So I'm some mornings a little grouchy and evil, but so be it. And I like working late at night. It's my thing. I am a nocturnal person. I guess I always have been. So I'm going to continue to go on. I was really kind of surprised and somewhat happy that I can't wait to see the expression on some of the TPUSA's people's faces. You know, Andrew is so smug into the, we've got the guy, we have all the evidence. There's going to be a pile more. Oh, this is late night. There's going to be a shitload more when it comes out, and we're going to show you how. Well, nay, nay, as Lionel would say. No, you're not, because now the bullet does not match the rifling on the rifle, and that you're going to have a real hard time explaining that, because that one just doesn't walk away with fragmentation or whatever. Good luck. And without somebody moving forward, persevering in the hunt for the, I was about to say hunt for Red October, because there's a section in there called Crazy Ivan, and that used to be my handle. Within that pursuit, the FBI gave up in 33 hours, right? Well, somebody needs to pay attention and keep looking. You know, it's kind of like Nicole's, I can't think of OJ's last name, OJ Simpson, Nicole Simpson's person who unalived her, right? Which there's a lot of people now believe that it was OJ's son, but it was the first I've heard of that since Barron brought that up. But nonetheless, I thought that was really kind of cool that they actually brought that out. I was very suspicious about the defense, I'm going to be honest with you, because they did not want the press to monitor the proceedings, and I thought that was a little suspicious. If you're not allowing everybody to watch what you're doing, and you have people that are in relation to some of the other folks that work at TPUSA, and but I understand in Utah there's a lot of that whatever you want to call that. I don't know. It's I guess it's a Mormon thing. So that was the first thing I did want to touch on. So bravo for the for his defense. I don't know how they are going to work around that. I spent a good hour just messing with Grok, just laying it out. I don't know why, because it was fun to me, but I thought that was really interesting. My last video kind of went down a lot of this rabbit hole, and I think it was really poignant to the fact that all this ties together with the war and what does he say, Einstein, and you know, Candace said it. Charlie was the first casualty of this war, and he truly was. I believe that. This war, as it's still a battle right now, and I think it's about to get a lot worse, is being caused because a little country the size of New Jersey wants us to do things, and we're following along with them. We don't have the, I was raised in New York around a lot of Italians, so I believe they would say canaglias to say no, and we need to have that. I think that would be our best way out of this, because to put boots on the ground means more casualties, and that's just not going to do anybody any good. And I don't know what happened to President Trump. Yeah, I guess his first time he did very well. Now, not so much. There's nothing he is pursuing that he said he was going to do. So that was that. I had a couple of videos here that I wanted to bring up, and I don't know which ones are which. Since I had to restart this thing 3 times, I figured out what my problem was with my computer. I had a bit rate that was too high, so I was sending out 60 frames per second when it only wanted 30. That's typical of me always wanting to do it larger than it is, and I'm missing one of my screens over there. See, this is what happens when you have too much computer stuff. So because of that, I'm going to go with what I have right now. This one, and let me see how I can do this. I'm going to make him full screen, kind of, sort of, maybe. And then I'm going to, let me add him in here. This gentleman is part of Trigger Smart, had him on earlier today. Trigger Smart's a really cool guy. He's just so always calm and just so stable. And I had a neighbor that had alopecia, a young lady, and she was very, very intelligent and very nice. I always felt for her, because it has to be rough, you know, not having, I think with a guy not having hair, it's not that big of a deal. But for a young lady, you know, that's a tough pill. Regardless, Trigger Smart brought this up. His name is Matt. I hate calling him Trigger Smart. His name is Matt, and he does great work. And he's got a couple other systems that are running. You can see a little logo on the bottom right-hand corner. But this came up, and it kind of spurred off a little something in my head. I want to see if I can run this. So let's see if this works.
Talking about this very unusual meteor storm that is hitting the United States.
This ball of fire streaking across the night sky. The latest in a string of stellar sightings seen here overnight in California.
Whoa!
And Space City living up to its name.
Did y'all see that?
With this one Saturday afternoon in Houston.
It's going to be an explosion. A meteorite or a missile fell out of the sky.
Traveling at 35,000 miles per hour, NASA says.
But since then, we have had a huge surge in sightings over the United States.
But this deserves a quick word about all of the meteors being seen right now. Most of them are not meteors.
Check out
High-profile scientists wind up dead. GOP representatives suggest there's a conspiracy.
Yeah, that's the other side of this. There's a lot of scientists that have
just too many of them disappeared. Nothing happened.
That I find very interesting in itself, and that could be a whole casualty by itself. At the end of the day, I I probably need to get my own little tinfoil cap on, because a long time ago, in a place far away, not that far, on my roof, I had a camera installed. Now, I still have a camera up on my roof. I'm looking for this video as I speak. Since I've had to restart so many times, I don't have it just readily here. But it's just part of my nature. So I had a camera installed that I can kind of look around to watch weather. One of my hobbies, I have way too many of them, is weather. And I live in Texas, and where I am in Texas, we get a lot of tornadoes. Not a lot, but we get enough. And it's kind of a scary thing, but at the same time, it's kind of cool. I like them. I used to like lightning storms until a tree like 20 feet away from where I'm sitting got hit, and I lost all of my equipment. And that was no fun. And that was August 2nd. And I'm still recovering from that. That last piece of equipment that's up top on my roof, and I love the fact that I have. He's going to run for president, and it's going to be just phenomenal. Anyway, where's my cursor? Come on. Here it is. I captured something that I can't explain. So I'm going to pull up a quick video here, if I can find it now. So I need to go to cuts. And, normally being professional that I am, I would have this ready and up to go. But because I had to do so many modifications to my system, I have not really gone live that often. That's number one. So because of that, my bit rate was set so high. Let me see if I can find this video right quick. As Baron would say, hold please. Where am I looking for here? I go to cuts, and then it should be where? Oh, the other U. Don't see it there. Where else would it be? Data? No. Any other time I run into this all over the place. I've got so many copies. Let me go onto my NAS. I know it's out there. I'll pull it down from my remote storage. And here we go. So I'm watching this storm. And that's not it either. Those are the other ones. Dagnabbit. Always has to be. Any other time I'd have my fingers on this, but that's okay. You're the only one watching, so it is what it is. And feel free. I don't mind talking to myself. I do it on a regular. But let me see if I can find this video. So, not the OneDrive. I don't have a OneDrive. Desktop, no. I had all this set up originally when I first went live, and then it was buffering a great deal. Well, that drive's not coming up. That's unusual. There it is. There it is. Oh, let's see. Which one's a short one? One of these is really long, and I don't want to bring up a long one. Properties. That's 35 meg. I think that's a long one. Let's do this. Let's view details. And let's slide this over just a little bit. Excellent. Just kind of work with me here, guys. Okay. So I'm going to bring up this one. Oh, okay. I know what I named it now. Oh, excuse me. Okay. So with that, because we had this one video, and I've got a few things that I do want to run down in here. Stop playing. Stop. Dang it. There you go. All right. Let me bring him in. And let's go full screen here. So what we have here is on the top left is obviously radar, right? And then below the radar, you can see it's not very obvious that it's on top of a roof, but I just had my roof replaced. I think this was in 21, so this is what, 6 years ago. And I guess it's like a 20-year roof, whatever. And it's a pretty valid storm. I mean, that's nothing to play with. It's got that shade of pink there. And here I am, this little dot. So now I'm showing the world where I live. But so be it. Come for me, because I'm stacked to the gills. Quick story on that one. Usually I have this sweatshirt on, so I have Baron's sweatshirt on. If Baron, you'll never see this video, but high IQ outfit, right? And I have it on the back of my chair, and the pocket section is facing the back of my chair. I actually use it as a holster. So, you want to come knocking on my door? Come on. You've got to have a permit to be in my neighborhood. Anyway, somebody knocked on my door not too long ago. I told them, I don't know who you are. If you don't have a permit around your neck, you're not going to be here much longer. So, the guy saw what I had in my hand. He got the idea. I'm going to play this really quick. There is a little bit of volume. You will hear the thunderstorm. I think you actually hear me breathe on this thing too. And then I go, what? What is that? It's a short video. So there you have it. There are two. That's not the end of the video, but there are two little objects that kind of fly across my screen here. And for the life of me, and I'll play it again. I'll just let it play all the way through. Now, keep in mind, this is a massive storm, right? There is a lake not too far from my house. And these two objects are flying. They have no lights. I've shown this to quite a few people that I have in high esteem. What was that? And that's me. What the hell was that? No lights. There no noise, because you can hear the rain and the thunder in the background. What was that? Rain. Zero assignment 3. Now that's my scanner. I always have a scanner running. What the hell was that? And for the longest time, I was spooked. I would walk my dog and always looking up. It's like, whatever it is, it's not going to get me. The image does not get any better. It's not a bird because it doesn't flap. It doesn't have, it's flying relatively low, or they are flying relatively low. I can't, for the life of me, nobody can tell me what it is. Birds don't fly towards lightning. And it was at late night. So this is at 10:12, at night. And they're flying directly into the storm. You can see the storm approach. And so I'm not one of those conspiracy guys. Well, I am. But when you look at, the storm is right there, and it's coming right here, and there's the hectagon box or whatever, whatever. That's a tornado warning, right? And the tornado passed, but it's like, come on, what is that? And for a good solid year, I try to get people to look at this thing and think, okay, well, I don't know. So it is what it is. But I just thought with all these UFOs and this missing, if I go missing, something's wrong because nobody wants me. I'm just an old retired guy, so I figured I'd bring that up, and I thought that would be a good segue just for what's currently going on. I have no other videos. I have nothing else. I have not tried to improve this video. I don't want to mess with it. It is what it is. They do have. It's not a bird. It's not. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's not like it's a flying saucer or anything. I don't know. It's just the weirdest thing. Nobody's ever been able to tell me what it is. I even have had a guy that works for an agency come and take a look at it. But it is what it is, and they're flying directly towards that storm, as you can see. And the funny part is, the storm goes away. Never even reaches my house. Never makes that little blue dot. You see how close it is, and they kind of go over there, and the lightning strikes over there, and next thing you know, the storm goes away. Go figure, right? Okay, so that's that story for this one. I thought that was really interesting. Everybody else is probably going, well, what the hell are you talking about, Ivan? Those are just birds. No, it's not just a bird. All right, so that was number one. Number two, I felt so great about the I got a cough button too. I didn't use it. The vindication for Tyler. Now, I think Tyler was still there. I think Tyler was told to bring a rifle because the rifle obviously had his DNA on it, and that is what that is what Grok argued with me when I was arguing. I was like, I told you so, Grok, because I told Grok. Grok was like, well, no, Charlie, he was unalived by. I like to argue with AI. It's not even AI; it's ML, but that's okay. So I thought that was really interesting. A mountain of evidence. So Andrew said that there's a mountain of evidence that they are going to produce at the time of the trial, and I thought that here's a great mountain of evidence. If you can't match the bullet to the rifle, your mountain just melted, and now what are you going to do? If anybody has seen my last video, it kind of goes through how the billionaires are funding our politicians, and they're truly in control because, Trump, with all of his downfalls and failures, did fairly well his first year or his first term. As a New Yorker, I wasn't too crazy about him because I know of some of the things that he did in New York at his time there, and he's a little shifty, but I guess I would be too. If you have that much money, or supposedly have that much money, maybe that's what you do. But at the end of the day, right now, war, America first, what happened? It's just, that's crazy. This country is so in need of a great leader and not protecting. Somebody said it's not MAGA anymore, it's MEGA. Make Israel great again. I guess I can say that word. I don't know. They can. I don't even have 300 people liking. By the way, like and subscribe, please. Like to try to get over 300, 400, or whatever. This is Frodo. She is. Her accent sounds a lot like my wife. My wife is from Belgium, and so every time I hear her, I laugh. But she is a staunch advocate for Candace. And I had never heard of this comedian before who made fun of Erica Kirk. And I'm looking at this guy, and first of all, I didn't even realize he was black when I saw all the white face on him, which I normally probably should have been able to figure that out. But it was interesting. And the thing that she says that I really find unusual, and it's not unusual, but everything is Candace's fault. Everything is her fault, no matter what. And when you have the #1 podcast, I guess it's all her fault, right? So, I probably have the smallest podcast. Well, maybe not the smallest, but, it's so sad that people have to do this. And I just thought it was entertaining. So she brings it up and points it out.
Or straight up makes fun of her. Immediately we see a wave of hate going towards Candace Owens. Someone random on the internet posts something and then comments immediately bash Candace for it.
Always.
We've had a lot of Erica Kirk comedy skits in the past few months. So some of them done by TikTokers, some of them by comedians. However, the past week reached its peak, and a comedian named Drewski went viral for mocking conservative women. He disguised himself as a white blonde woman, you will see soon in the video, allegedly pretending to be Erica Kirk in some parts of it. Some people thought he went too far, some people reserve the right to actually laugh when a comic performs a skit. I want to remind you that Candace defended Erica for weeks, if not months, after Charlie's unaliving, until that.
Okay, I'm going to stop this for a minute, and there's nobody out here, that's fine, and maybe I'll catch us on a rerun, and I'll bring it up again. I'm a widower. I lost my first wife. I've remarried. I've lost my first wife. I had 2 children. I still have, well, they're adults now. 6 months, I probably couldn't even walk, right? Or I could walk. But I was just, in what Erica is doing or showing or whatever, there's no way in hell. There's just not, okay? And yeah, I'm a guy and all. I'm probably way too attached to my feelings. I was about to say a bad word. It doesn't matter. I think when you lose somebody in your heart, you know, you show those feelings. So that, I just want to put that out there. That's one of the reasons why I feel like I can do this, because I know what that feels like.
At very first lie. But let me start with Drewski. Let's see the parts of his video where he allegedly makes fun of Erica. I went a step further and added clips that best match the scenes in the video.
She does a really good job here.
You will see now.
What ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. And we are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
We said our prayer, and we ask the Lord to protect us. To the students,
Unable to understand, really.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes, because they are the ones who mattered most.
Yes, they are.
Don't let anyone disenfranchise you because you're a young man, especially a young white male man. Don't ever let anyone talk down to you. We need strong men out there.
Okay, when she said that, it went through my mind, you're a mailman. So you're the guy who delivers mail? Okay, I got it. Because my mailman, she's white, but it's not a man. It's a woman. But I guess she's still a mailman. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. I used my cough button. You know, Fredo, she's really smart on it. I watched one of her videos at one point, and right in the middle of the video, it was just dropped, and I don't know why. But I've watched her come out of nowhere, and she's did a really good job with it. And she's done very well. I've got another one here queued up. I'm just kind of bringing them along. I thought this one was really interesting, and this is Kid Rock, okay? And I'm just going to let it play out because I wanted to bring this up to Baron because it's in his hood. So let me play this one. Oh, no, wait. Okay, here we go.
Nashville home. And we just finished an exclusive interview with Kid Rock about what happened.
That's right. Our Caitlin Quisenberry is at the WKRN.com alert desk with what the rock star is telling us and what the Army is saying about this incident. Caitlin.
Kendall, in the last hour, our Sarah Smith just finished interviewing Kid Rock at his Nashville home. He tells us he was not expecting to see the helicopter come that close. This happened on Saturday. You can see Kid Rock saluting the pilot as the helicopter flies away from the home. People people attending the No Kings rally in Nashville say these helicopters also flew over the rally. We reached out to the 101st Airborne Division at Fort Campbell about the helicopter hovering near Kid Rock's home. In a statement to News 2, Major Jonathan Bless says an administrative review is underway. He went on to say, quote, Army aviators must adhere to strict safety standards, professionalism and established flight regulations. Appropriate action will be taken if any violations are found. The statement also said these helicopters were flying a route in the Nashville vicinity for training purposes. Any association with the No Kings rally also happening in Nashville that day is entirely coincidental. We just finished interviewing Kid Rock at his home. Here's what he said in response to the Army investigating.
So I know that Mr. Coleman lives in that area, as is Candace, and I believe Ian just moved into that area, as does Billy and Brandy, or Brandy and Billy. If they're still together, I have a feeling they may not be. I don't know. Just a guess. Who knows? Allegedly, possibly. But they hopefully they are, because they do awesome work. Anyway, let's play his little cut here to Kid Rock, who was part of their...
I think they're going to be all right. My buddy's commander-in-chief.
My buddy's commander-in-chief.
I mean, what are they looking into? They stopped for, I don't know, seconds, a minute. You know, maybe they were here 3-4 minutes, you know, just say what's up, went on. And I've told them before up at Fort Campbell, like I said, when I was there with J.D. Vance back at our vice president back in Thanksgiving, I talked to some of them. I said, yeah, because I see them when they fly the Chinooks and they go to Nissan Stadium for the football games. They come right over, and if I'm here, I usually make it a point, come out and like, you know, give them a what's up. So it's really not that new, but it was pretty cool. They stopped right there and kind of, I wasn't expecting any of that, but I thought it was really neat.
Oh, whatever. All right. Anyway, I mean, it's cool. You know, if it was my house and I had a pool that had an edge like, well, I have a pool, but I don't have an edge like that with, you know, and he's got quite a little view there. So, but I know that Barron is always showing the helicopters, not always, but occasionally shows helicopters. And I'm one of the people that, you know, another one of my hobbies, I watch aviation. I've got a couple of the same apps that he does. So I thought it was just kind of interesting that it was there. And that it just sat right outside of his house. I came across this one on my feed, and for the life of me, I really couldn't understand why it was on my feed. I play with the algorithm, and I probably shouldn't, but I probably know more about the internet. I was around before the internet was around. I've met the gentleman who actually made part of the internet, Vint Cerf, and that Al Gore. So I understand it better than most. I know what an IP address is and what it does and how it works and the interactions. I know what the first transaction was on the internet, and if anybody can guess, so be it. But it was between two college students, so you guys can pretty much figure that one out. Anyway, you know, speaking of our administration, and I'm not going to play this because it's I don't like the lead character here, but I don't like any of the people in here actually. But it all relates, I believe, to what is going on now, and this is supposed to be satirical. You know, the whole Hitler thing is a little bit much for me, but it showed up on my feed, and if this is what Amazon is pushing. Not Amazon. If this is what Google is pushing, well, so be it. You know, if that's really what they're into, and I guess. But I had never seen this before, and I just thought it was worth kind of bringing up here and giving it a more in-depth view. I'm trying to find the volume. Here we go.
Burgdorf, was ist los? Woher kommt die Schießerei? Mein Führer, darf ich Ihnen zum Geburtstag gratulieren?
I hate that thing.
Wir haben noch keine Meldung. Ich spreche gerade mit Koller. Koller, geben Sie mir Koller. Koller.
I stand here today speaking to you.
Sie wissen, dass Berlin unter Artilleriefeuer liegt.
I wouldn't tell you that if we did.
That means you don't know.
The only thing prohibiting transit in the Straits right now is Iran shooting at shipping. It is open for transit should Iran not do that. Never has a modern military been so rapidly and historically obliterated, defeated.
So if they're defeated, why is the strait still closed?
We negotiate with bombs.
Haben Sie noch 2 Fälle einen Befehl? Ich glaube! Aber alle diese Verräter werden bezahlen.
This is not Iraq and Afghanistan. This is not a president who's interested in vague end states. He's been very clear with us about what we need to accomplish, creating the conditions for them never to have a nuclear capability, and that's exactly what we're doing in historic fashion.
So you had that before you killed this current leader. And
2 failed missiles on a target 4,000 kilometers away.
This is a bunch of crap.
For years, they told the world that their missiles could only range 2 kilometers. Surprise. Yet again, Iran lied. And to the world, I say London is 4,000 kilometers from.
So what they've identified is that the Iraqis didn't shoot that missile. They don't know exactly who, Israel, shot the missile, but they have an idea of who shot the missile. That never really made it, but they tried to make it look like it was an Iraqi deal. He just looks guilty, doesn't he? And I can't stand that pocket square that he has with the flag. He's just so you can smell him. He's so slick.
Iran.
Die gesamte Generalität ist nichts weiter als ein Haufen niederträchtiger, treuloser Feiglinge.
Washington, D.C. is 3,300 kilometers from Venezuela, another country President Trump did something about that partnered for a long time with Iran. So you're telling us that Iran is not a threat to the world? Or to
No, it wasn't a threat because the guy that you killed and his son and his son's daughter and the 150 other children did not want nuclear weapons. But the ones that you have in place now, yeah, they do. And was the pooch screwed? Yeah, it was. I'm not going to play this whole thing. You can find it out there. It's kind of funny. I'm just Hitler rants, parodies. It's not necessarily my thing, but it was fed to me via YouTube, and that's probably a really good look to leave right there. It's just he's not my dude. He's just not. And I know that I have a setting here. Just as me and left. That's not right. That's not right. That's not it. Oh, maybe I don't have one. Oh, there it is. There it is. So, click. Yeah, so the red background is in full view. The house is in disarray. There's stone dust everywhere. Hopefully the master suite will be finished, I believe, like next Monday or Tuesday. We'll see what happens there. The thing that I find very interesting now that the bullet does not match the 30-06 is simply that the FBI stopped looking. Excuse me. Now, since the FBI stopped looking, that means the killer is still out there. Now, Tyler might have had something to do with it, and I believe he actually did bring that weapon, but I don't think he ever shot anything. If he did, he would have GSR on his hands, gunshot residue, gunpowder. If they would have tested him, it might have been gone by that time, but it still could have identified whether or not he did have it. And I bet he was tested. That should come out during the trial. However, the smoking gun, sorry for the I don't know what you want to call that, the whatever, parably, is truly the fact that the bullet doesn't match the weapon, and you just can't deny that. And there's no two ways around it. You just can't pass that off as a truth. So now I can't wait to see, Andrew squirm his way out of this, because he was so vehemently, adamantly, staunchly protecting Charlie, and that's one of his best friends, and how dare you even question the narrative that the government, well, you know what, you can take your 33 and shove it squarely up your ass, is simply for the fact that it is bullshit, and we all knew it, and we know it now, and now it has been proved out, right? So, yes, they have additional have more evidence that they need to run, but this is truly the smoking gun. So that's very interesting. I find it very interesting. The other thing, I think that I don't know if Lionel brought this up or if no, actually it was Brandon, and I don't have a video for it, but I was around back in the day when the Oklahoma federal building was bombed, and how fast they moved that along. And the thing that I find very interesting now is that the narratives have changed. Everybody's paying attention. Everybody has a camera now. Everybody has that built-in camera in their hand, that built-in computer that can take all these videos and photos and images in 4K and 3K and everything else, and then transmit them even simultaneously. And it's tough to ignore that, right? It was easy to get away with RFK and JFK and MLK. Gotcha. Those days are over. And I don't think the government, just as well as Mr. Heckstaff here, is Peter. Nobody thought it through. And the same exact thing is about to happen to our brave young men and women that are going to Iran or they're going to Israel to defend a country that we shouldn't be defending. Let them defend themselves, period. And frankly, there is a way out. And I believe that if our president was smart enough, he'd just pull out and let the rest of them. I just thought about Barron. Barron made a joke about pulling out. He's got 8 kids. That, let Israel fend for themselves. But that's not going to happen because AIPAC is so powerful, so strong, so much money. And one of the negotiators is his son-in-law, who happens to be Jewish. It is what it is. My last video, I identified the top 10, well, maybe it was a top 10. I think it was a top 5, at least 5, maybe 7 donors to TP USA. And they were all, I asked Grok to identify what they all have in common. And he said they're all related to Israel, and they are. And this was nothing more, or that organization was nothing more than a way to ensure that that vote, that younger vote, was brainwashed enough to vote for whomever they believe should be voted for. But Charlie was seeing it differently. So, kudos to him. But in the video that I did create, it was like, you just can't leave the mob. I grew up in New York. I was around. I worked for one gentleman who I won't call out. He owned a record store in the town that I grew up in. And I'll never forget, the manager of that store at one point was downstairs. We would keep the inventory of, like, the boom boxes that you put on your shoulder and things of that nature downstairs. And the manager and the owner of the store were downstairs. And his name was Rob, the manager, and he was wired to a lie detector. And I went down the stairs like, la-di-da, la-da-da. And the next thing I know, I'm seeing this, and I'm like, holy shit. I turned around and was like, okay, gotta go. So that was that. It was just remarkable. But you can't just walk away from the mob. You just can't. And that's what that's about. And this, what's interesting too, I also saw a thing today. Who did it? Lee. James Lee on the No Kings rally. The No Kings rally has a sign-up sheet, and they tell you how to participate, and they tell you what the sign should be and how you should organize and things of that nature. And the thing that was very interesting is like, well, what organization is behind this sign-up sheet, and what are they doing with that data, and how they encourage you to take pictures of your group and take pictures of your posters and things of that nature. Well, and here's some of the things that I probably know way too well. The facial recognition, I've got 12 cameras around my house right now. There should be 14, sorry. There should be 14, but I got a couple of them offline, like the one on the roof. All of that is being captured. And if you followed any of the series that I did about, about, let's just call him Big Brother, is just watching and collecting data. The gentleman that now owns TikTok, Larry Ellison, and his son are just collecting massive amounts of data, just massive amounts of data, and they're just shoving it into AI, and that's part of this. So that's why I never give out data. I just try to stay away from it, and it's so dangerous. Even voice recordings like this can be dangerous, you know. So that's my 2 cents there. Let's see, what else do I have? I think I'm starting to run out here. And there was one other that I brought up, and I don't have a video for it either. But it was a gentleman whose son had returned home, but he did not return home in the manner that he went to the Middle East. And he was a black man. And it was his only son that, I guess he was a pilot, and he perished in the Middle East. And Trump was there, and, you know, I guess Trump hugged the guy or whatever, or shook his hand. And he said, Trump said to the father, he says, your son was he said, you're a very strong man or something. I actually wrote it down. He said, his name was Tyler. And he said, Tyler gave everything. He was a very strong man. And he says, Tyler gave everything, and you're a very strong man. He says, no, my son was a very strong man. And, you know, with that, then he started to break down, because he said on the interview that he'll never have grandchildren. And, you know, this was his only child. And just to think about how many are going to pass. And I made a video about the 13 that have already passed. And I was around for Vietnam. I wasn't there. I was a child, but I watched it on television. I didn't understand it. But it's so sad to watch it again and let somebody else, let another nation, let a group that has no conscience, let a group that has no dignity for themselves pull us into something that we have no business being in. You want to fight that fight? Fight it by yourselves. Kiss all the butt you want. Give anybody the money that you believe that they should have. But if our elected politicians do this, they need to be gone. And a lot of people say, well, don't vote. No, that's not the answer. And I'm not left or right. I don't get blue or red. No. I'm about this country and what's right for my neighbors. I don't care who you are, what you look like. But you've got to take care of each other, because they're not. So anybody that's in office needs to go. And that's how I vote right now. If you're in there, if you're smiling at me like this disgusting piece of shit right here, he needs to go, period. And anybody that's accepting money from these folks, and that needs to stop too. All these PACs, it needs to go. It may not happen in my lifetime, so be it. But that's my take on that one. So, yeah. There's so much, and here's the thing, it's all intertwined. This is all, you know, Epstein is there, and it's, you know, it's all together. It's one great big cabal. I think I made the cough button maybe halfway. Anyway, so that is my take. That is my hot take. It is going on. Oh, look at that! It's almost 3:00 Central Time. So at least I made it through probably about an hour's worth, maybe 30 minutes. Thank you for hanging out with me. I am about to wrap this one up. This is my first live in a long time. I finally got all my equipment together. My studio is a mess. I've got 3 monitors over there. There are 2 monitors back there. There's one up there that's not powered on. They're still hanging all around. And I'm moving a lot of things. I feel like Ian. I've got some coding going on, some vibe coding going on. There's a lot of things that are happening here, and it takes me a while because I'm old. I don't care. But it is what it is. And I've got to get up early tomorrow because I've got construction people coming in here and I told my wife today, you know, she says, well, how was your day? I said, it was awful. She said, why? Because it sounded like I was in the dentist all day. When they're cutting stone, it makes that sound like, you know, they're just drilling in your head. So I'm not complaining. That's her business, and God bless. I'm thankful for it, but it is crazy. Look, you know, Baron always leaves with Jesus loves you. I'm always going to leave with please be careful what you click on, because it's a dangerous world out there on the internet, and there's a lot of bad people out there. Put your head on a swivel and pay attention, because we are going to see false flags. This is not going to end well. It's just going to escalate. So think about what you're doing. Think about your neighbors. Make sure you have your plan of action ready, because it's going to be a necessity. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and we'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully it'll be tomorrow, a lot earlier, since I have everything already set up. Pattern recognition, thank you very much for hanging out with me. Oh, pattern recon, thank you. I appreciate you hanging out. At least I have all my settings done. Let's take a look. Oh, I didn't even drop a packet. Excuse me. Yeah, man, everything is just perfect. I went from 60 frames per second to 30, and that's all it needed. And it is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I thank you all for your time. Please be careful out there, and let's pay attention to what's going on, all right? We'll see you on the next one. Peace.